Hi, I'm Callum from Tyne Valley Motorhomes, and this is the handover of an Elddis Rambler 2.1/4.
Okay.
So on the front of the caravan, using your tri-mark key, you can open your A-frame, and in here you've got your gas bottles. So you can fit 2 bottles in this one, and they take 6 kilogram propane bottles, which are colour. And then to connect it using the pigtail, what you do is make sure your bottle's turned off first. You'll be able to release the pigtail. And then to connect, it's a left hand thread, so opposite threads with it being gas. You'd hand tighten, so you don't need a spanner for your gas. Just tighten it up until it's hand tighten the bottle, and then on the top of the bottle you can turn on the cylinder. Making sure that you do turn your cylinder off before you hook it up to the car and start towing the caravan away. Got some storage in here as well, so you can put bits and pieces in there. Corner steady handle, which we'll need. And then on the front of the van, on both sides, so in all 4 corners you've got corner steadies. But you pop it through here and you want to connect it onto this nut, and then you can wind the leg up. So you want to make sure your legs are up before you start towing the caravan, and then make sure they're down when you get on your site before you enter the caravan, just so it spreads the weight evenly across the van. And you do that on 2 on one side, 2 on the other side. So you'll need to purchase yourself an aqua roll. This is how you get your water on the caravan. And you've got a wheel pump. So the wheel pump's got pins on either side, and this is the power. And then it takes the water in, and then you want to just push the flap down so it locks in, so it stops the pump from being disconnected. Put a hose pipe into here. You can get an adapter where you fill it where it's a constant feed of water if you're on a super site. Pop the pump in, pop the cover on, and then you want to turn the pump on inside the caravan, and it'll pump the water out the aqua roll into the system of the caravan. So your boiler, your taps, your toilet, and so on. Using the key as well, this is your leisure battery location. So you've got a leisure battery on here, which is a Probat battery, and then on this side you've got where you hook the van up. So if you're going on a site or you're hooking it up at home to charge it before you leave, you want to get your hooker bleed, slot it through the groove in the door, open the collar and slide it onto the caravan. Then connect your site or connect it to the house, and do it in reverse order when unhooking, so that you're never walking around with a live lead. If I unconnect it just for a moment, underneath it, this one is fitted with a motor mover, so this is the motor mover key. So you'd pop that into there and then turn it clockwise. Turn it clockwise will then send power to the module, which is underneath your lounge seats, and then you can use the remote and activate your mover. But remember, when you're not using the mover, turn it off, take the key out to hook the van up. You've got a TV point there as well, so you've got 12 volt and a satellite point. So if you are on a, you can get an F-type connector, which is for an aerial on the satellite point on this van. So if you're on a super site and they've got an aerial on the site, you can connect and use their aerial instead of the aerial on the roof of the van. You've got your breathers, so intake and an extake for your boiler, so your water heater. This is your cassette locker, so again opens with a tri-mark key. And then to operate the cassette, you want to lift the orange handle and slide the cassette out the caravan. carry it to the waste disposal point, which is normally beside your toilet block. Lift the handle and you can wheel it so that you don't have to carry it when it's heavy. And then empty the cassette, remove the grey cap, pop that to the side, press the orange button, tip the content of the cassette out. Then there's normally a tap there, so you'd put some water down here, give it a rinse and tip out again, and then you'd go in with a cap full of chemical. So this is 120 ml, which is 4 ounces of either the green or the blue chemical, directly into the cassette, and then you just pop the cassette straight in to the side of the van. This is your setup for your waste, so you'll have to go and get yourself a waste master. You get this connector here, so these are your 2 waste outputs. So you want 2 pipes into there, and then you want to pop the other end into the waste master, and this will collect water from the shower, the tap, the toilet, kitchen sink, or anything that you've drained off via a plug hole will go into here. Once this is full, all you need to do is close the waste master up, drag it to the waste disposal point on site, and open the bottom of the waste master to drain the door off, which is just here. In the back of the van, you've got your bike rack. So you just slide that down, release these by pressing the red catches, pop the wheels on, ease through the wheels, tie the wheels down on both rails. Crossbars for the first bike, crossbars for the second bike will hold the bike up, and then what we do advise is some sort of bike lock around the bikes and the frame of the bike rack, just to stop the bikes from being stolen if you are leaving the van unattended. Storage underneath the bed. Fridge vents, microwave vents, awning light. Some more storage underneath, and you do have an external socket, so if you wanted power in the awning, just leave this open, or you can do exactly what you do with your battery locker by feeding the wire through the frame and locking this back up. And then at the front, this is your external gas point. So if you wanted to carry a Kadak with you or external barbecue, what you can do is you can connect here via a quick release connector. You'll need 2 Jubilee clips, connect the quick release connector to some orange hosing and secure that with the Jubilee clip, and then connect the other end with the Jubilee clip to your Kadak or barbecue, turning the supply of gas on via the gas tap here, and that'll save you carrying a spare bottle for your outdoor cooking. To operate your main control panel, this is your master switch here, so you turn it on, which will send 12 volt to all your 12 volt appliances within the caravan, or 230 volt if you're hooked up. You've got your master switch for your lights, which is your middle button, and then you do have your awning light on the outside, which is your far right hand side button. So to operate the panel, press the home button, and you've got the temperature of the vehicle. So press on that, and this is your heating. So you can adjust this all the way up to 35 degrees. The frost start is the snowflake, so that keeps it above 3 degrees. This is the recirculation button. The heating is off. You can have it on 1 kilowatt, which is 2.9 amps. You can have it on 2 kilowatts, which is 5.7 amp, which you'd use on more 16 amp sites. And then you can have it on 3 kilowatts, which is 11.3 amp if you're on a super site. You've also got gas, so if you're wild camping with a caravan and didn't have any hookup, you'd heat the vehicle off gas. We can have it on the max setting, which is 2 kilowatts of electric, which is 5.7 amp and gas together, which you'd use more in the winter to take the chill off the caravan and get it up to temperature for the first 20 minutes and then put it back on to electric. Press the home button, you can then go on to the water, which is the right hand dial. I can have it on eco, frost start, which will just keep it above 5 degrees, 2 kilowatts of electric, which you'd use if you're on a site, which is 3.3 amp, or we can have it on 3 kilowatts of electric, which is 6.5 amp, or again, if you're not hooked up, you can have it on gas, which is this button here. But you can select electric and gas together on 1, on 2 or 3 kilowatts. At the bottom here you've got your pump, so you can, once you connect your aqua roll, it'll say pump and then it'll get a yellow band around it which says pump ready, which means that you can turn your taps, toilet or shower on and it'll start pumping the water out of the aqua roll into the boiler, heating it if you want hot water or bringing it through as cold water if it's on cold. This is just a timer here. This is your battery, so it's saying it's on hookup and it's currently at 13.1 volt, your leisure battery, and if you press and hold you enter the settings and you put a water timer on, a room temperature timer. You can set the clocks when the clocks go back and forth, and that's all in the wheel digital control panel. To operate your Dometic fridge, so you turn the fridge on and off here by pressing and holding the button. Turn it on. You've got mains power here, which is a picture of the plug, so if you're on hookup, either pre-chilling it at home, if you're lucky enough to have it hooked up at home, charge the leisure battery, put your fridge on a few days before you're going to go away in the caravan, pop that on, it'll pre-chill the fridge down to temperature the night before, load it with your shopping and allow that to chill overnight, and then when you're ready to connect to the car, have a 12 volt feed off the engine of your tow vehicle, you can put it on to battery, and then if you are going wild camping you can have it on to gas. And when it's got a feed off the tow car, what it'll do is it'll just act as a cool box, so it'll keep the temperature the same as when it was departing the site or home, keeping it nice and chilled until you arrive back on site and either go on to hookup or gas. This is your temperature, so 5 when pre-chilling. Once you pop your shopping in, you just want to turn it down to 3 or 4 being the max, just to stop the shopping from freezing within the fridge. Then remember, when you don't use the fridge, leave the door open, so there's a little catch on the light, push it in, pull these out, keep the door loose, which means that air can circulate within the fridge to stop smells from forming when the fridge door is closed and giving your caravan or motorhome that funny smell. So in the kitchen, on your hob, you've got 3 gas plus 1 electric hot plate, which is at the back. The electric hot plate is operated via here, so there's no light that'll tell you this is on, but as soon as you're hooked up, this hot plate will heat up. So remember, before you hook up, check that it's turned off, because if not, if the glass lid's down and it's hot, it can shatter the glass lid. Same with the gas, you've got to allow it to cool before you put the glass lid down. But you do have 3 burners on the gas, and then underneath and below you've got your grill, and then below your grill you do have your oven. Underneath you've got some storage and your plug for your electric hot plate, so should that be giving you any issues you can just unplug it or switch it off. Got storage there, and that's just your draining board along with your isolation gas tap for your oven. Any problems with gas, you can turn off each individual appliance, but we advise just turning the bottle off. That's what the gas taps are for, each individual appliance. Turn the bottle off in the front of the caravan to be safe. In here, this is your water heater. So your water heater obviously heats the water. You've got a reset button here, so should you get a red exclamation mark beside the control panel on the picture of the water heater, you can press and hold it for 30 seconds and it will reset that panel for the water heater. Then you will be allowed to heat your water. But remember, in the winter you want to drain it down. So to drain your boiler off, you just turn this tap towards the door of the caravan and that'll drain the water off underneath the van. Then you want to leave all your taps open, so mixer taps in the middle position open, and remove your shower head from the shower hose to eliminate any water in the pipelines of the caravan. But make sure that you are draining it down, because if not, you're in for an expensive repair bill to replace the boiler. Got slide out drawers. Light for the kitchens here with two 230-volt sockets. You've got to be hooked up for them to work. Solar panels there, so it's showing that it's at 13.8 volts at the moment. Just got to watch that to keep the battery topped up. But obviously the solar panel does go to sleep when you're hooked up, because the hookup is bringing in a lot more voltage on the 230-volt side. Some storage in here. Skylight with a fly screen and a blackout blind, and to open you've just got to pull it down and slide it. But make sure all your skylights, windows are securely fastened before you start towing the caravan. So if you remove your cushions from your passenger side seat, in here you've got both boxes for the motor mover. Obviously the main battery is in here for the leisure battery. So that is a 15 amp fuse. But you've also got your fuse board on the front. So that's got all your trips on mains electric. So if you trip the van out, try here before you try your site. And then underneath you've got all your 12-volt fuses. So do carry some spare fuses with you, just in case one does blow, you can replenish the fuse. But behind it, this is your space heater. So this is what heats the motorhome, air-blown heating. So down between these two ducts you've got a red reset button just here where my finger is. So should you get a warning light on the heating side of the control panel, all you've got to do is press and hold that button for 30 seconds and it will eliminate the fault on the heater if it has overheated. If it comes up with the overheat fault, press and hold and it will eliminate the fault. So to make the front bed up, slide this section out underneath the storage drawers at the front until you hit the two stoppers. Then what you've got to do is lift it and then slowly keep pulling and wedge it in on the other side. Then using the backrests, you form the front double bed across the width of the caravan. So on the side of the telly at the bottom there's a master switch, so you've just got to turn that on and then you'll be able to press the button pointing it to the red light, which goes blue once the telly's turned on. In the bottom left hand corner, and then every time you move location you do have to retune your telly, because it will pick up different signals, and all you need to do is press the AQT button here, so a big orange button, press and hold it, wait until it asks what country you're in. It's automatically set the UK, just press OK and let it do a channel search to find as many channels as it can. Once it's found the channels, it'll go so far and it'll start to pick up the channels like it has there. If you're still struggling that you haven't found your favourite channel, what you've got to do is in this cupboard you've got your aerial, so your aerial will be down. This nut will be fastened. Loosen the nut off, push the stem of the aerial up, loosen the nut up. That'll raise the aerial above the caravan roof, and it should hopefully find more signals, which means you get more channels. You can then turn the black collar, which will direct the aerial on the roof, so it'll tilt it on its side to find more channels. But look where your other motorhomes and caravans are pointing, and you should get a good enough signal. You've also got a Pioneer radio in here, so you've just got to press SRC. You've got your radio, or you've got an auxiliary on there, so USB or 3.5mm aux jack. Search for your channels by here, press 1 to 6, press and hold to save your favourite channels, and then press SRC to turn the radio off. And then with the aerial, just going back to the aerial briefly, before you do start towing the caravan away, make sure that this is loosened off, the pole's pulled right into the van, and this is fastened so no wind gets underneath the aerial and causes any damage to your TV aerial. So in the washroom, on one side you've got your toilet, so to operate your toilet first, ensure that your pump's on and then that you've got water in your aqua row. Press the blue button, you'll get a flush on your toilet. Flush the toilet with a little bit of water before you use it. And then what you want to do is you want to open the blade, which is the grey lever on the bottom of the toilet. So slide that away from you to your right. You can now use the toilet as the blade's open, and everything's going to go into the cassette. Once you've finished, give a good flush. Cleans the bowl. If you've bought the pink and the blue chemicals together, put the pink in a spray bottle and dilute it with some water. So put a small amount of pink in, dilute that with water, spray the bowl, give it a good flush, and then close this back towards you, which will isolate the cassette. And then when the cassette's full, you'll get a light underneath here, or a series of lights underneath the diagram showing you that the cassette is full. You've got a toiletry cabinet, you've got the same skylight with blacker fly screen on, and it opens by both hands on. Pull it down, slide it along, you'll be able to open the skylight for ventilation, but make sure that it is securely fastened before you do tow the van. Toiletry cabinet, plug pushes in and out, and you've got hot and cold water, and that's your hot water on there now, it's really warm. The bathroom door also acts as the bedroom door, so you can close that off, and across from it you've got your shower. So remembering when you winterize it, just remove this, pull it out, undo it from the head, and lie this hose in the shower tray with the mixer tap open to stop any water from freezing in this pipe. And then there's a little toggle on here, so you can use your shower screens, but make sure that you pin them back and lock them into place before you do start moving the caravan. And you've also got a door here which acts as the bedroom door, so if you've got guests in the front, you can close the bedroom off and the bathroom off, so you've got separate space in the middle for them using the toilet and shower. So to operate the Elddis Avant'e air conditioning, first of all you've got to make sure that you hooked up the mains 240 volt. Then you come in and you turn on the fuse spur, which sends power to this unit. It'll flash, get the remote, which is located in the holder beside the hab door, press it, it'll flash, give it a moment to come on, and then you've got modes, so you've got 3 modes. So you've got auto, recirculation, cold, where you go up and down the temperature, or you've got heating, and you've got the 3 or 4 lines there which is heating. Please note, if you've had it on cold and you're then turning it on to hot, you've got to give it time to slowly heat itself up, because it can't just go from say 15 degrees to 31 degrees, because it'll crack the compressor. So it's got to slowly heat itself up, but you can use it as heating. And you go up and down here with the temperature, You can change the fan speed, so there it's on full fan, you can change it just to 1, so you can slow it down so it's quieter on an evening. And then you do have lights, so you press the light button and the lights come on. And then should you ever get a spanner that's flashing here, it just means that the remote's out of sync, so you've just got to press and hold this spanner setting here and it will reconnect the remote to the aircon module and you'll be able to use the remote. And then finally, to turn it off, just press and hold. It'll flash, give it a few seconds just to stop, and there you go, it's turned itself off. And then on the caravan door, you've got a retainer, so lift this forward to release the door. Don't just pull it, as you'll pull the retainer off the side of the van, and then you can lock it from inside by lifting it up and pushing down to unlock, and then you would lock it with a key from the outside.